Like how mad do you get?
I used to get pretty annoyed with you.
Yeah.
Like annoyed. Like to the point where I want to divorce you.
Jesus.
Sometimes it's hard dealing with you.
Yeah.
You don't understand.
But it's funny because I know that you get upset with me, and I hate making mistakes. I hate making mistakes because I make so many mistakes.
I don't think that they're mistakes. I just think it's just you, to be honest. Like a normal person, when they're done with their plate, they'll put it in the sink. Like, oh, I'm done. Let me put it in the sink. For some reason, I don't know why you leave it on the table, why you leave it on the counter. Like, all you have to do is take one more step, and it's right there.
And what I tell you the other day, I go,
this is your favorite line. I know. I'm going to clean it up. That's your favorite line. Like, I'm still waiting for you to clean off the Parmesan cheese off the stove from when you, like, cooked warmed up more food.
Yeah.
You, like, I don't know what you did. I like, oh, Parmesan cheese. Like, you dump the whole bag, and half of it's on the stove, and I don't know where the other half went, in the pan.
Yeah. I am probably the like worst when it comes to, like, I'll cook and then I'm leaving just shit everywhere.
Yeah.
It's like a bomb went off. Like, it's so crazy.
It doesn't matter what you do. I know it's you. With the laundry soap, I don't know who the fuck. I'm just going to say it's you because I know it has to be you. You poured laundry soap in the thing, and it spilled all over the top of the washing machine. It ran all the way down. You're like, I didn't even wash. But we all know it's you.
And my sister lives with us, and
His sister and my sister.
And I'll always blame my sister.
My sister blames you because she knows it's
Everybody
you.
blames me because they know it's me. But it's just like, whatever. So it's been what? Our weekend, right? We go into our weekend.
Yeah.
So Raquel decided to watch it wasn't the weekend, it was yesterday.
It was, yeah.
She decided to watch.
It was Sunday.
Oh, Sunday. She decided to watch that's the weekend. She decided to
12
watch
hours of
Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings. That's a fucking, like, so she'll get mad at me because I love science fiction. I love science fiction movies. I love, like, computers taking over the world. I love robots becoming friends with humans and just crazy shit like that, right? And she's always nagging at me like, you watch stupid shit. You watch stupid shit. And what does she watch? Lord of the fucking Rings, Fat Hobbits. Like, it's just like, I don't know.
And then afterwards, I was calling you Fat Hobbit.
God damn, I do have hairy feet.
I think I went to bed at, I think it was like 11 o'clock after I finished the last movie.
Yeah.
And you're all, where are you going? We're gonna watch a movie. Like, it's 11 o'clock. I'm going to bed now.
I can't figure out what movies we've been together, 7 years now? I still can't figure out what movies you're into. Like me, like, you can watch kids' cartoons.
I have a kid.
You
I have nephews that are small.
Yeah, but you could watch, you don't really watch love movies.
Not really.
Yeah. Not like romantic.
What do you consider romantic though?
Like
I watched 50 Shades of Grey. Is that romantic?
It's our kind of romantic.
You were like, I was watching it. You're like, do you have headphones to put on?
No.
And that I watched all three of them too.
God damn it! That movie I don't understand. Right? I don't know. But that's the whole.
That's because you don't have a red room.
But I'm saying, like, that's exactly you, because you don't. God, I can't just pass it up. But you don't watch Lifetime movies.
I used to. I mean, like, now I have like Hulu, Netflix, Prime.
No, I know that, but like,
because I feel like all Lifetime movies are all the same. It's all some white girl going to a small town thing during the holidays, falls in love with some guy that works in some fucking I was gonna say field. Farm.
Yeah. Okay, I don't know. But the reason why you said field is because we were watching.
That's what's out here is fields.
Okay. That's every woman's dream, to meet a man in the fields.
Yeah.
But
For
But-
sure, they probably would have fixed my car.
Oh, whatever. So I decided to break the car this weekend.
Yeah.
So one of our cars has a flat, and it's right now it needs a new. I don't even know what it needs, but it's broken, and we're trying to get it fixed. But it has a flat, so the city came and put a
Said
sticker.
that we need to fix the flat, or we're gonna get a
Tow.
citation or a tow or some
Yeah.
shit like that.
Which is it's insane because there are so many
There's broken down cars.
Yes,
On our block that don't move at all, but our car is registered and gets clean, and there's nothing wrong with it. And there's cars on, what are they called? Like the lifts or whatever the little things are.
on jacks.
Yeah, jacks. They're on jacks. They don't move. Like they've been sitting there. Their registrations have been up a year.
But somebody called on our car.
Yeah,
right?
our car. Exactly.
Which is I wouldn't care if there wasn't any other rundown cars on our block, but there is, which
Yeah.
is so crazy.
Yeah.
So I don't know how I did this.
I don't know why you did it.
It's not like I don't know how to change tires, right? I've changed.
He doesn't know how.
tires.
He doesn't know how.
Oh, whatever.
He doesn't know how.
We've had multiple flats. Like I've changed so many tires. I decided to put the jack
Right underneath the car.
right, like too deep, and it was on plastic, or whatever you call it.
I don't know.
It was on. It wasn't on the structure, right? It wasn't on the frame,
Yeah.
and so I'm lifting the car.
I'm looking at it before we left, and I want to tell him, like, I don't think it's supposed to be that far over. But I'm like, no, he's already changed cars before. Like, you do what you gotta do.
And so I'm jacking it up, and then so I'm taking the tire off, and all of a sudden, so I'm like, okay, even I looked at it and was like, I don't know if this is right, but I don't know why. I was just like, I did.
It's because I was stressed about, like, we just need to fix
No,
the tire.
but that's why I don't like you around me when I'm doing stuff, because you stress me the fuck out, because I don't want to make I don't want to make a mistake in front of you. Do you know what I mean? So I ended up making a mistake right when I'm in front of you, but I'm jacking up the car, and I'm taking off the tire, right?
No, you're trying to put it back on now.
Oh, I'm trying to put it back on.
So he's still trying to jack it. I'm like telling him, I don't think it's gonna go up anymore.
Because we went to go get the new tire.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I'm telling you, like, I don't think that's gonna go up anymore. And you're all, yes, it will. Yes, it will. I'm like, all right. We're talking. I'm on the phone talking to my sister. Like, yeah, your brother-in-law's over here fixing the tire. Da, da, da. Oh my God! The thing falls.
Boom! It just hits the ground. Just
Yeah.
luckily the what's it called? Caught it.
No,
The
no.
jack still caught it. It fell. Because the rotors didn't hit the ground. Luckily, I was so scared, and I thought they did. So I'm like freaking out because I don't know if the jack broke.
The jack did break.
No, well, it did. I didn't know what happened. Did it slip or something? I don't know. Did it go through? And so I'm like freaking out, and
Did your hand get smashed?
No.
Oh, okay.
And I'm trying to get the other jack from the Prius.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't drive a Prius.
We drive a Prius.
No, and I'm trying to get the other jack from the other car, and I'm trying to put it underneath the car, and I'm trying to jack it up with that one, but it was just, and then that's when you asked the neighbor for their big jack.
I was like, Jesse was jacking up the car and it fell, and he wants to know if you use the big jack.
You know how stupid it makes me feel?
So the neighbor comes down. He's like, yeah, it's supposed to go like right here, right in this area, right here. Sorry.
But it just, so I ended up getting the jack, and finally I got it up, and I fixed the tire, but we ended up taking the jack that we used first went through the
driver's side floorboard. Like it pushed it up.
Yeah, it went right up, right through it, right? And then the jack was also broken, but luckily the rotors didn't fall right on the ground, right?
Do you even know what rotors are?
No.
So how do you even know if that was rotors?
No, I guess the brakes and the rotors, right? Whatever that thing is right there.
I don't know. I mean,
guys
you
know what I'm
fuck up.
talking
You
about.
fuck up everything. So.
But it's
So then he does that, and then today he breaks the iPad.
So I'm over here trying to set up for an interview, and I end up dropping the iPad.
Can you move your drink away from the laptop, please?
And
Thank you. Thank you.
and I'm setting up the iPad, and I dropped the iPad. I'm like, fuck, and it's broken, it's cracked. I'm like, and I'm screaming out loud, right? I'm like, motherfucker, fuck. I'm pissed off, and they all went shopping, and I'm looking at the iPad. It's cracked. I'm like, motherfucker.
My wife's gonna kill me because I broke the car. Now I broke the iPad.
And it's an iPad Pro, so it costs like $200 to fix.
Yeah.
So I was.
I mean, the iPad wasn't cheap.
I was like so pissed off at myself, and finally she comes back. She's all. No, I call her, and she's all.
The funny thing is, you call me. You're like, "Where are you?" And
Yeah.
well, I'm at the store. Okay, when are you gonna be back? I'm like, later.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking you're trying to hurry up and get it fixed and stuff before I get back. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
okay, nothing's wrong. Everything's fixed. Like, everything's good. And I'm like, what's wrong? You're like, I cracked the iPad. I'm like, what do you mean you cracked the iPad? And you're, well, it fell out of the thing and it hit the table and it did all this. I'm like, did it crack the screen or the screen protector? It wasn't in the protector. No, it has a screen protector. Oh, thank God, thank God, thank God.
The pizza guy just dropped off
Is he
the
already
pizza.
tipped them? And you got a sticker on your back.
Don't worry about what I got. You buy
The pizza guy just dropped off the pizza, and my sister-in-law is grabbing it. Hi, pizza guy.
Pizza lady.
Yeah, pizza lady. No, but yeah, our guest today. I guess that's enough of stories. We'll talk about it after.
Enough
our
of Jesse
guest.
fuck ups for the year.
But our guest today that we had a Zoom interview with is
Jocelyn.
Jhoselin.
Our friend Jocelyn.
Milo. And she owns
Milo.
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 And she owns Third Eyed Cold Brew. It's a coffee company. Basically, she started this year. She makes her own cold brew. She makes her own. She gets
Syrup. Her own
syrup.
from
Well, no,
vanilla
no.
syrup.
Well, she makes her own syrups, and she now her house made syrup is with Barefoot Coffee.
I feel like I've heard them before. I don't really like coffee like that. I'll drink refreshers, obviously, from my favorite spot. I'm not going to say the name.
Yeah.
But I don't drink coffee like you drink coffee.
But I love coffee, right?
Yeah,
I love
yeah.
coffee, and I did work with her at Pete's. That's where I met her, and
Yeah.
we became friends with them. We actually went to her daughter's
a birthday party.
Yeah,
for-
we went to her daughter's birthday party, and that was the last time we seen Adam, her husband. I didn't know him too well, but like I said before, I was just telling my wife that any man that's willing to take care of somebody else, any man that's willing to take care of
Another man's child.
another man's child and help raise that kid, I have a lot of respect for, because that's what I'm doing with my daughter. And Adam passed away earlier this year.
Earlier this year, yeah.
And you know, me and Jocelyn get into grieving and mourning over that significant other, or like
Loss of somebody.
loss of somebody. I lost my mom, and I mean she's so inspiring, because she instead of just saying, you know what,
Instead of just going, like, letting this pull her down.
yeah,
Yeah.
she created Third Eye Cold Brew, right? And she's doing it. And yeah, Jocelyn's our guest. It's just, I was really inspired by how she's coming out of this, right? Or dealing with this. And she should be an inspiration to all moms out there, or anybody that's a widow, right? And
Or anybody that lost a significant other.
yeah, and it opened my eyes to the grieving community out there. So I hope this inspires you. Thank you guys for listening. We'll be back after the interview.
Studio audience.
Yeah, but we're gonna send you guys to the interview right now. And yeah, our guest of the day, Jhoselin Milo of Third Eye Cold Brew.
Why do you sound like that?
I don't know. Oh,
Oh, Third Eye Cold Brew.
and our sponsors, Rough Riders Barbecue. Go and check them out. Links in the description below, or in the bio, or in the description on the audio. But it's
Or in our link
everywhere.
tree.
Rough Riders Barbecue, guys. I'm gonna be starting a podcast with. We're gonna I'm gonna help them start a podcast soon. So check him out, guys. And now to our guest, Jhoselin Milo of Third Eye Cold Brew. Thanks, guys. Because I worked at Starbucks, I worked at
Mhm.
Pete's, and there were very few people that I met that were really into the craft of making coffee, because it
Mhm.
is a craft, and people, they dive into it like it's a science, because it is a science,
It
just the
is,
way
yeah,
you make
it
it.
is,
And
yeah.
the
Bean
and
to
then I
cup, right? Bean to cup.
yeah.
It's an adventure for sure.
And I remember you were posting a lot, I think like a few years ago, when you were doing the designs for
Mhm.
the latte designs.
Latte
And
art.
yeah, latte art, there you go. And there's contests, and it's a skill. And
Yeah.
you were, like I said, you were one of few that really dove into the art of coffee.
Mhm.
And it's kind of cool to see that you took it to the next level
Mhm.
of and opening up your own business and your own cold brew, right?
Mhm.
Because it's so. When did the idea of Third Eye Cold Brew come about?
So, my late husband Adam, and I were actually we didn't really tell anyone about this. We were like really like quiet about our plans just because you never know if like you stumble on a curb and things don't work out. He and I were actually planning on opening up our own food truck project. So
Yeah.
he was gonna do his, house-made ramen bowls, and I was gonna do my cold brew, but also cold steep teas to complement his bowls. So we actually had a different name for that. So I don't know what it was. It was just like a couple months ago. I it's been very hard losing him in April, and I don't know if it was like him telling me in the back of my head or whatever it was, but it was just just go for it. And that's always been his mentality, just go for it. And if it doesn't work out, you find another solution to make it work. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
always like been his mentality. And so I was like, fuck it. Oh, I don't know if I'm supposed to cuss.
No,
Sorry.
you're okay. You
Okay.
can cuss. You can
I was like,
cuss.
you know what? F it. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna do it, and I'm gonna start small, and we'll see how it goes. You know what I mean? So, I actually have some samples right here. I was looking for a bottle that was a little different. So this is actually more of like, hopefully you can kind of see. It's more of like kind
Yeah.
of like a barbecue sauce style
Yeah.
bottle.
That's
But
awesome.
whatever it was, I was just like, I like that. It's a different type of bottle versus like the typical mason jar.
Yeah.
I love mason jars. They're all over my home. It's like a hipster staple, I guess you can say. Um, but I wanted something different, and I wanted something that was gonna be 16 ounces, which is 2 servings, and I just wanted something a little different. So,
Yeah. And
what's
you
oh, I'm sorry. We gotta be gentle. But
and
sorry.
if people are barely meeting you, listening to this,
Mhm.
you and Adam were very unique individuals, meaning creative individuals. He was a chef. You were a barista, really loving coffee, and both of you guys had really cool personalities. Both of you guys have really cool personalities,
Thank you. Yeah. Hmm.
and it's awesome to see you transition the love of coffee with your create I guess creativeness, if that's a word, to your branding, right?
Yeah.
And the fact that you're saying I want to do something different
Hmm.
is a representation of you,
Yeah.
right? And
Hmm.
it it's do you plan on just doing, do you guys have just cold brew at
Um.
Third Eye?
Yeah. So right now it's just cold brew. So, um, the story behind it is obviously it's called Third Eye Cold Brew. After losing Adam, it did open up my third eye, right? The whole story of reaching enlightenment and just yeah, exactly. Seeing the world as it should be seen. It's not all about rainbows and cupcakes. Like there's turmoil, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so um I just thought that would be a great idea just to help open up not only myself but everyone else. So what I'm doing is I'm opening up people's knowledge on coffee,
Yeah.
and that it's not just coffee, it does have different personalities just like people have, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And so each month I highlight a different single origin. So a single different origin means it's sourced from uh one origin, right? So like a Colombian, a Guatemalan. It's not like most places where they do blends, because blends kind of, you don't really get like the flavor of what that coffee should be tasting like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so like I'll do so far I've done a Guatemalan, Honduras, um and did I do a Costa Rican? I lose track. But I'm also going to be doing, like an Ethiopian, something from Kenya. Like different profiles are going to make people be like, whoa, what the heck is this? Like, why does it taste like this? But also, like, I've never had this. I actually really like this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So people are going to like it. People aren't going to like it. And that's okay. You know what I mean? So,
And what people need to understand, it's just like anything else. It's just like beer, right?
yeah.
Beer. Certain people like Modelo, and then that light beer, right? And then some people
Mhm.
like the IPAs that are really dark
Oh,
and
yeah.
like
Yeah.
and it's just preference. And
Exactly. Exactly.
but you doing it different origins and different, I guess, flavors. I don't know if you would call them flavors, but
Yeah.
it's kind of cool because people, they need to open their eyes to how vast the different flavors are of coffee.
Hmm.
Where do you get your beans?
So I go through a local farmer, sorry, local farmer, local roaster.
Awesome.
Um, they're called Barefoot Coffee Roasters.
I used to deliver to them.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Oh my gosh. So
Yeah.
I gotta tell you, that company is just, they play a very big part in my life. Not only because, like I source my beans from them and they're a great company all around. They actually, I've been in Campbell for a little over 7 years. And so I actually live right next door to them. Adam and I used to go there all the time. We took Enzo when he was just 3 weeks old. So it really, that company is a part of our life and our family.
Yeah.
And so that's why I source my beans from them. I actually am working with them and I'm sourcing their vanilla syrup. So if you ever get a chance to go out there, they just switched over their vanilla syrup to the vanilla syrup that I make in house.
Awesome. That's
Yeah.
freaking awesome.
Yeah. I was like, oh shoot. Like I'm working with a company
Yeah.
and they're sourcing vanilla syrup from me. Like, how crazy is, I was never expecting that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So a big shout out to them. They're great. All the baristas, John, everybody from that company
Yeah.
is awesome.
And
So
so going back to Adam, I don't know how much you want to dive into this, but
yeah.
you did lose him earlier this year, and um you haven't paused. You've been pushing, and a lot of people don't do that. Jocelyn,
Yeah.
like I've dealt with losing my mom, and in the morning when people mourn, they don't thrive as hard as you, I mean, as great as, they don't thrive as much as you are thriving, right?
Yeah.
You're starting this business, you're taking care of your kids, you're doing an awesome thing.
Mhm.
And what do you think makes you different from all these other people that have lost somebody, right?
Yeah, I can't right now. Okay.
What's a peepee?
I
Yeah. Sorry.
I've seen my dad when my pops lost my mom.
Yeah.
He didn't, it took him years, and he's still and just crawling through the
Yeah.
morning, right?
Yeah.
And what drives you? Like, you have that drive. What drives you?
Yeah. So, it's a tricky subject, right? Like a lot of people have they haven't experienced great losses like you and I have. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? You know, again, my condolences to you. I mean, it's been quite some time, you know, but I know you're still hurting. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And that's something that a lot of people don't understand is when you lose a loved one, whether it be, you know, your parent, your sibling, your child, your partner, your spouse, it's all about the connections you have with that person. You know what I mean? Like Adam was, oh, he was my everyday, you know,
Yeah.
like waking up, you know, going home, going the times we were ever separated was like, you know, working, right? We were both workaholics, we got our shit done, we didn't play, you
Yeah.
know, and then, you know, we come home, kids, food, chill. You know, we were homebodies. We like chilling a lot. We didn't really care about going out a lot. You know what I mean? And so
Yeah.
um to just have that ripped away from you is no matter the circumstances, right? It doesn't matter how your loved one died, it's the fact that they died, you
Yeah.
know. And it hurts, it sucks. I won't lie, I do kind of live a double life with, you know, like my Instagram, my personal Instagram is full of heartache, and I'm quite open about it because I want people to know that it's okay to cry whenever you need to cry. You should never
Yeah.
hold it back. If you're having a really shitty day, you're gonna have a shitty day, and that's okay. And it could continue on. You know what I mean? Because when you go through such a traumatic loss, like that does, it's not just you losing your person, your, you know, your mentality goes out of whack. Physical, emotional, you're in pain in all ways possible. You know what I mean? And what I had to understand was, I mean, we've talked about, you know, if something were to happen to us, which I think is very important for anyone to do. I know it's a very uncomfortable conversation most
Yeah.
people are going to have or should have, but um that kind of set the tone for me. You know, I always keep in the back of my mind, I've always just remembered Adam telling me, like, you know, like, always rely on yourself because you're never going to let yourself down, and you're never going to let the kids down. And so I always think about that because when you lose someone, the world doesn't stop for your grief, it doesn't
Yeah.
stop for your loss. You know, I mean, the world itself is fucking insane right now. You know, and we're all going through it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So a big shout out to you guys, a big shout out to, you know, everyone that's reached out to me, sent care packages to the kids and I. You know, we're all facing our own challenges, and so whenever I have people tell me, oh, you know, I'm having a tough time but not as much as you, i I honestly don't like that
Yeah.
because yes, what I went through is a really shitty situation. I would never wish this upon anyone. I love that man to freaking death, you know?
Yeah.
Um, but we all face our own challenges that is very challenging to one. You know what I mean? Like, you know, you and Raquel are probably going through your own challenges, and that's tough on you guys. You know what I mean? And I don't like the whole comparison thing, you know,
Yeah.
because I
And
mean,
that's a sign of a good person, right? You're
I would
humble.
assume so.
Yeah, yeah. But you
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 know?
are humble,
Mhm.
and
Yeah,
most people
I
that
try to be. Mhm.
yeah, and most people that are not successful
Mhm.
they want the attention on them. They want
Yeah,
for people to feel bad for them.
yeah.
But
And
people
people
yeah,
do, but you can't expect that. You know what I mean? Like it's a hard situation. A lot of people don't know how to approach people like us.
yeah,
Like, you know what I mean? Because they could come with like the best intentions in the world, but say something that may trigger us differently. You
yes,
know what I mean? So most people tend to, oh, I should just like not even reach out or say anything because I don't want to say the wrong thing. And then
yeah,
just leave it at that. And then it leaves the other person like, oh, why aren't they reaching out? Or like, what's up? Or they don't love me. You know what I mean? Things like that. So it's just it's a sticky situation for everyone involved in grief,
yeah.
in death.
And grief. There you go. The grief community.
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
you really brought that. You really you really opened my eyes to that because you've talked about it before on your post
Mhm.
about the grief community.
Yeah.
And one thing when my mom first passed away,
Mhm.
one thing that really stuck out, somebody told me, was they had lost their wife.
Mhm.
They told me it he didn't sugarcoat it basically, and I'll
Yeah.
always hold this. It was like the first 2 months that my mom passed away, and
Mhm.
he told me it doesn't ever stop hurting,
Yeah.
right? You
Exactly.
get stronger and it gets a little bit easier, but it doesn't stop hurting. So
Yeah.
don't expect it to just go away, because it
Yeah.
doesn't.
Yeah.
And that,
You you learn to live with it.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Um, yeah, you learn to live with it because I mean it's part of you. You know what I mean? And I think the reason why it, even many years later, I mean, I'm, on the 20th, it's gonna be 8 months for me. It's still fairly fresh, but
yeah,
um, you learn to just live with it because it is a part of you. And the reason why it hurts so much is because love existed. You know what I mean? And wow, I love your happy face. It's so cute. But and that's the hard part. And I mean, people can see your pain and they can, try and help out, but they I have a lot of I call them my widow sisters. Big shout out to them. Who have lost their husbands as well in different circumstances, right? So it's all different. No one's gonna grieve the same over, like the same person, or you know what I mean? So it's all different and we're all hurting. You know what I mean? Some people like to just shut it off and not talk about it, and that's completely fine. Some people like to be open about it. And the
yeah,
reason why I like to be open about it is because it helps me. You know what I mean? Just talking about how something like this feels, because one day we're all gonna face something like this, whether it
yeah,
be a spouse loss, a parent loss, a child loss, and it sucks completely, but that's the reality of it. You know what I mean? So um you just got to keep going. And that's the hard part, because when you have kids, like, you can't, I mean, you can stop if you can, but like, you can't.
yeah.
You know what I
D-
mean? And it's hard to juggle, like, your mental health plus theirs, because we all grieve differently over the same person. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And it's challenging. It's hard as fuck. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
yeah.
You
That's
know?
awesome. That's awesome that you're saying it's hard, because a lot of people won't admit
Oh
that
god.
it's fucking hard.
It
Right.
is.
Well,
And
I don't know. I have
yeah.
I'm not, like, I don't have as many kids as you have, or I'm
Yeah.
not dealing with what you're dealing with.
Mhm.
But that's like, you're really doing it, and it's
Yeah.
not like you made Third Eyed Cold Brew, and you're thriving. Like, you guys grew really fast,
Yeah.
right? You guys,
Yeah,
there's
I
a
mean, I'm on month 3, so um it's great support, like, obviously, like, all the friends and families, like a lot of, like, my my clients, shout out to my LinkedIn clients, who, I've been with the company for I was with the company for 6 years. Like,
yeah.
my clients weren't just my clients, they were my everyday as well. You know what
And
I
you
mean?
used to work as a barista in LinkedIn, right?
Yes, yes. So I
Oh,
started off
okay.
as a barista, and then I moved my way up quickly to lead, and then supervisor. And then I also actually overlooked all the coffee bars, and our company, or our coffee program was like expanding. So it kind of sucks because everything was going great, and all the plans and whatnot, but then obviously COVID hit and just kind of put you know um a stop at everything. So unfortunately I was laid off in August. And it was hard. It's like a secondary loss. It's like, you lose your husband, you lose your job, things are going crazy outside in the world. uh it's just like all these components that drove me insane.
Yeah,
I mean, I look like I am kept well and very calm, but
yeah,
most days I'm just so sad. I cry a lot, and that's okay. I drink a lot of water because crying does make you dehydrated, so don't forget. Um, but it's just good to, like, with Third Eye Cold Brew, it doesn't distract me from what happened to myself and my family, but it does keep me busy. And I mean, I love my couch. I love binging on Netflix, but it keeps me busy because not only am I doing this, I'm doing this for my people, my community. I'm still building relationships. I mean, I've met, you know, um, people through my connections, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I'm still building relationships and I'm all about that, like I love people. They may piss me off sometimes, but I love being around people and human interaction, you know what I
And
mean?
I think that's one thing that you get, right? That
Mhm.
it clicked for you that when you're trying to start a brand or a business, you have to make a culture. And
Yeah.
there's another person that I've met through this podcast. Her name's Gloria. She does the panderia,
Oh
the
yeah.
bread,
Mhm.
and she's starting a culture just like you,
Yeah.
for pan, for bread.
I should do a
And
pop-up over there, huh?
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
in terms of cold brew, that's
Well, I'll link you guys up. I'll link you guys up. And
yeah.
she's just like you. You guys support everything.
Mhm.
You guys support all businesses. Just she supports all the panderias and all the
Mhm.
bakeries. You support everything that you know about on your
Yeah.
page, which is
Mhm.
awesome.
Yeah.
And so what's next for Third Eye Cold Brew?
That's a good question. So I did wanted to start off small because uh I wanted to make sure it was something that I could handle, you know what I mean? Because uh you know every single day is it's unknown, right? I could just wake up in a good mood and be like, yeah,
Yeah,
let's do this, and then the next hour I'm a complete wreck.
yeah,
It comes in waves. So I wanted to do something where I could just handle it and not lose my shit, because I'm still dealing with a lot of, like, mental
yeah.
health stuff, right? Which is very important to take care of. You know what I mean? But as of right now, I am um making the vanilla syrup for barefoot coffee, which was something that I wasn't expecting, so that's cool.
You know how big
Uh,
that is, Jocelyn? Like
I
that's huge.
don't. It's
Yeah, that's
still like
huge.
I,
You went.
I really don't. Like when I
Yeah.
read the emails, I'm like, oh my gosh, they want another one. Like it's
Yeah.
it still hasn't hit me. But I hear it's fairly it's becoming a hit, which is
Yeah.
awesome. So thanks, Cody. Shout out.
How do you make the well, I don't know if you're gonna answer that. How do you make the vanilla syrup?
Oh, it's super simple. Again, it just, I guess you have to have the hands for it, right?
Yeah.
But so I just create a simple syrup. So if most of you guys don't know, it's just honestly sugar water, right? So you do a 1-to-1 ratio of filtered water and a cup of sugar, and simple syrup, right?
Yeah.
But what I do is I have my own recipe, and I have my own recipe for barefoot coffee, so it's different. But I create the simple syrup, and I actually cook the vanilla beans, Tahitian vanilla beans in them. So what I do is I get the bean. Actually, let me go grab it real quick.
Okay.
Let's make this exciting. Okay. Hi, you want to say hi? You want to say hi? Say hi. So yeah, so I don't use any artificial flavorings or products like that. But I'm really, really against it because I'm all about like sustainability and what's really good for your body. And
Yeah.
chemicals aren't good for your body. You know what I'm saying? So these are the Tahitian vanilla beans that I use. I'm not sure if you can really see it,
That's
but
cool.
so I use real vanilla beans, and what I do is I split it down the middle, and then I scrape the seeds that are in the vanilla pod itself.
Yeah.
And
It's
I'll
a
put,
if you're listening, sorry, if people are listening to the audio, not watching, it's just it looks like a burnt leaf basically, and there's little
it
beans
looks like a
inside.
blunt, let's be honest.
Okay. It looks like a blunt, yeah.
It's a backwood now. but, but yes, you can have one of those, it's fine. Just one, okay?
You
But
split it down the middle.
yeah, split it down the middle. I scrape the seeds that are in there. They're like these little tiny dots. And yeah, it's Santa Claus. And then I put the whole pod and those seeds in the simple syrup and I simmer it for about maybe 20 minutes or so. That way you get the sweetness from, I use organic dry cane sugar. Um, which I source from a small little company. And then these Tahitian vanilla beans I actually source from a like a micro farm over in the French Polynesia. So I get like high quality products.
Man.
Um, because I'm all about like the sustainable route. Like, you know, that's why I do these glass bottles because I want people to recycle.
Yeah.
Right. So if you bring them back, I mean, this is a $6 bottle, but if you bring it back, you actually get $1 off because you're recycling. Um, you know, it's everything that I do is sustainable.
But who taught you how to make the vanilla syrup? Like I know
So
Adam was a chef, right?
yeah, he was, but he was more into the food, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was more coffee, he was more food. But I actually learned this technique from when I was working from LinkedIn.
Oh man.
Yeah. So it was like super simple. I was like, what the heck? And this is awesome.
Yeah.
I don't have a sweet tooth. I hate sweets. Just give it to me black. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Me too.
there are some days where I'm like, I want something sweet. You know what I mean? And so sometimes I'll dip into my supply, which you're not supposed to do that, but I dip in it all day. But you know, when you do it this way, you get what vanilla should taste like.
Yeah.
You know, like French vanilla is not a thing. It's just a word.
I
You
didn't
know?
even realize that. I didn't.
Yeah,
Why
I
would
know. Everyone,
like?
do you do French vanilla?
It's just
I'm like,
vanilla.
yeah, it's just vanilla. It's chemical vanilla. You know, it's like it's just chemicals trying to
Yeah.
replicate you know what I mean, like vanilla extract and whatnot. You know, but I don't use vanilla extract. The alcoholic, non-alcoholic, I just don't like. Um, it just doesn't pair well with the coffees and oat milk that I use.
And
So
are you gonna dive into other kind of syrups or any other flavors?
I actually just launched so I didn't launch the mocha cold brew yet, but I did launch the what Enzo calls the chocolate milk. So it's like chocolate with oat milk. I actually use a good tart chocolate cocoa powder for that.
Yeah.
It's like quite bougie cocoa powder. So it's like 100%. I do cook it in with the organic dry cane sugar and the vanilla bean pod as well to lightly sweeten it up, but still get the good quality taste of the cocoa powder. Because what my whole thing is like, you know, it's a nice compliment. I don't want to like overstep a flavor, you know what I mean? So like if my customers want, you know, they want it extra sweet, I'll put extra vanilla syrup in here.
Yeah.
But I typically do like a certain amount because I want it to, you know, make it sweet but not overrule the taste of the coffee itself. So
And are you eventually gonna get into food?
no,
No,
that's
just
no.
coffee.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
coffee. Towards summertime, I will be launching cold steep teas.
Yeah. That's
Summertime,
awesome.
guys, summertime.
Yeah.
Summertime by calendar because you know, California weather is wonky, but I will be doing cold steep teas. So what that means is just like cold brew. I will steep it for about 18 to 30 hours to create what they call like a concentrate, and then I'll cut it with water. I don't use any heat. So that's like the difference between cold brew and iced coffee is iced coffee is brewed hot and then poured over ice. So it tends to be like that burnt taste, that non-coffee term people use. It's like super high in acidity. It's like kind of like that meh taste.
Yeah.
Um, but you know, cold brew should always be smooth, no matter what single origin or roast that you use. Recycling, please. Sorry. um, you know what I mean? So, and it's like 60 to 64% less acidic. So it's really more gentle on your stomach.
And you know what, Jocelyn, that is that you're so your story is so inspiring to me because you went from just having a regular 9 to 5 job, which
Mhm.
is just being a regular barista, and you found this love for coffee and you really ran with it, right?
Mhm.
And you built your way up into the, like, I guess, the barista world,
Mhm.
and you mastered it, you dove into it, and then you were hit hard with hard times this year,
Mhm.
and you didn't just sit back and not do anything. You
Yeah.
started your own business and something that you love. Like,
Mhm.
I hope people hear your story and see that they can become something better than where they're at their at
Mhm.
that time, right?
Yeah.
And you're so intelligent. You weren't if you weren't you wouldn't get this far if you weren't intelligent, right? It's so
I
crazy.
guess I.
Yeah. But it's
No,
so
I.
crazy. Like, I worked with you at Pete's, and
Mhm.
you
What a
I didn't
fun time.
yeah, I know it was fun, but I knew you were serious about coffee, but I didn't think it would get this far, right? I'm
Mhm.
gonna be honest. I thought you were just there to get paid, right?
Yeah.
You really just opened my eyes to what people can do, right?
Yeah.
And is there anything else you want to tell people? Anything else you want to say?
Stop drinking Starbucks. No,
Oh
I'm kidding.
yeah.
I
Yeah,
know it's convenient, but don't drink it, damn it. No, I'm
yeah.
kidding.
Where can sorry, sorry, go ahead, go.
What's up?
No, w-
Yes, go ahead. Sorry.
before you answer that, where can people get other uh homemade coffees like you, other than
um,
yourself?
like like sourcing from like it, like yeah. I mean, you can go to barefoot. I mean, I always recommend people to go to the local roasters, go to the local coffee shop, mom and pop shops. I mean, I'm not completely against Starbucks and Pete's, but if you want a good quality cup of coffee, just hit up any of the local coffee shops out there. Like for me, I go to Barefoot Coffee. It's right next door, and I just have this great relationship with them. You can go, one of my girlfriends, great people, just opened up their own coffee shop in downtown San Jose. It's black owned, it's sister owned. Shout out to Veronica and Bianca. They're called Nirvana Soul.
Awesome.
And they're off of what's it, First Street. So definitely check them out. Yeah, I mean, a lot of different cities have great local coffee shops, and it's just great to support them, because you're really supporting not only the coffee shop, you're supporting the people that comes along, like like I said, from bean to cup. So you're supporting all the coffee farmers that, like, generations of literally pouring their hearts into growing these coffee beans, because it can take up to 7 years
Yeah.
for coffee plant to produce fruit. It's a coffee cherry. A lot of people don't realize it's a coffee cherry,
Yeah.
and the beans are actually the seed of that coffee. Actually, let me show you.
They're green. Oh, you have some?
And they're green, exactly.
Yeah.
So a shout out to one of my girlfriends. Her name is Jessica. She actually purchased this little coffee plant for me.
That's awesome.
Um, and I mean, it's grown so much, and I'm like, ooh, I don't want to kill it. But this is about, I want to say, like 2 years old right here, and it's a little tiny thing.
Jesus.
Yeah.
That's two
So
years?
yeah, 2 years, I believe. Maybe
And it's not that
maybe
much.
almost 2 years, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy, and of course it's in a little coffee mug. But it's a lot of people just think it's coffee, and that's one thing that I want to change. Um, from people of thinking it's coffee is just coffee. It's not just coffee. It's a community. It's a culture. It's a lot of hard work, um, and a lot of patience, and a lot of love.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I make it look easy. Like I'm told that a lot, but I'll tell you, from the many years of me being in the coffee business, and what I've learned from all the other masters is it's a science, and it's a process, and it's a lot of love and dedication for sure. So
Awesome. Is
even
there
that
any
Starbucks crap that you guys drink.
is there any
Hold on
is
one second,
there
okay?
how do people get a hold of your coffee, your
Yeah.
Instagram, like
Yeah, so as of right now, I'm just taking orders through DMs on my Instagram, which is at m dot third eye cold brew. The M obviously is a symbol of my last name for Milo. Obviously it's a tribute to Adam. And yeah, I mean, just hit me up on IG, shoot me a message. You know, if any of our frontline workers, you know, want to place an order, it's going to be on the house. I know a lot of them are busting their asses off right now, especially with like the whole COVID and the holidays and stuff. So,
awesome.
yeah, that's what one of the projects I'm doing for the next couple weeks is just donating to, you know, like emergency rooms and ICUs and all that, because they're really busting their asses for
That's awesome.
us, you know. So
And I'll have all those links and everything that I'll post all those links and everything I do,
yeah,
and so
for
people
sure.
could click it. But thank you for coming on. Is there any last words you want to tell the listeners?
I don't think so. Yeah, my memory is just shot, so I don't know. But
Yeah.
I mean, you know, just thank you again for having me on your guys' podcast. I think it's great. I don't know what it's like to run a podcast. Apparently there's, you know, there's a lot of different loops, but you know, again, thank you for your time and having me be on here. And you guys are doing great for the community as well, you know, like you're really, you know, putting people out there and just like supporting not only your community but the expansion of the community too, which is great.
Yeah.
So
Thank you. And
yeah.
I can't wait
I'm
to
glad I'm
try.
not crying. I was like, I'm gonna cry, but you know, I'm
We
good.
made it through it. We made it through it. And I can't wait to try it. I haven't tried the coffee yet.
I know.
COVID kind
Yeah.
of fucked everything up because I would be able to just go over there, right?
Yeah.
And go pick it up. But I don't know. I just stay a little bit safe, I guess.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I will. Do you do mail orders?
So I'm actually I've actually had that be like a really high demand request.
Yeah.
I'm currently working on that right now. I still have to like, you know, work out the kinks, but hopefully in like mid-February to end of February I'll start shipping out, you know, out of state.
Okay.
And yeah.
Awesome.
So
That's awesome.
yeah.
But thanks again for coming on, and
I
thank
think
you guys
you.
for everybody that's been listening, and
Oh, are we
go
live? Are people listening right
not right now. I'm saying because
now? Oh, okay.
I'm gonna put it out there. I'm saying whoever's
Okay,
listening.
okay.
They
Okay,
are gonna
cool.
listen. They are gonna listen. And go follow Jocelyn on all her Instagram. Go order her coffee. And yeah, Third Eye Cold Brew, guys. Thank you, Jocelyn.
Of course,
I'm not gonna
Jesse.
hang. I'm not gonna hang up yet. I'm just gonna.
Okay.